Hello YouTube. So with the latest half sword update, learning how to strike is going to be a lot more important since the opponent actually knows how to now. Okay, so I made a tutorial not too long ago on how to fist fight, but it's a bit of a yap fest and I want to make a more concise one. So we're specifically going to cover striking this video since that's mainly how fights take place in the latest update. The balance is so strong on both you and the NPCs that fights mainly stay on the feet and you get up so quick that you don't really need defensive grappling anymore. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do takedowns and things like that, so grappling will have to be in the next video. Alright, we're going to be starting with footwork. Good footwork can help you out even against weapons and bosses. Okay, so you want to be holding the shift key almost all the time. It's going to put you into this little fighting stance, it's going to help you with your movement, your balance, and it even helps you move your mouse faster. So you can see it puts one leg forward and it puts you into a proper fighting stance. If you use only left and right movement, you're going to remain with that foot forward in that stance. And once you go forward and backward, you can see your stance shifting. So when I play, I use a lot of left and right movement only because I like to remain in one single stance. And it helps to know that your character is a southpaw, so he's going to have the most power with his right leg forward and his left leg towards you. Being in southpaw is mainly more powerful for the kicks, and with the boxing you don't really need to worry as much about which stance. Speaking of boxing, let's get into that. So if you want to throw world star punches, you can do one mouse button at a time. Left mouse button is going to be your right hand and right mouse is going to be your left, and you can just control one hand at a time and swing like that. It's going to get real powerful punches, but you're not going to have your guard up. To get your guard up in a traditional boxing stance, you want to have both mouse buttons held down at the same time. You can move the mouse around slightly to bring the guard up or down or left or right even. And to throw a punch, you're going to want to flick your mouse in any direction. What you see most people do is going left to right and just throwing hooks, but you can actually throw straights and uppercuts. So if you're holding your guard and you slightly flick to the left and to the right, that's going to get you straight punches. And if you flick further to the left and right, that's going to get you the hooks. And shout out to Eclipse for commenting this on my last video. He actually put me onto the uppercut. So to throw the uppercut, you're going to hold your guard and then you're going to bring it down and you're going to flick it diagonally. And this is going to combo well with this sort of overhand hook when you go back down again diagonally. So there's actually a lot of cool combos to do once you mix in the straights, uppercuts, and hooks. The goal when you're boxing is to beat him to the punch or to land a good counter or even catch him running right into it. Because I've noticed with the latest update, you're actually able to get knocked out a lot easier. So if you're a sweaty world record player like me, then you do want to avoid the pocket and actually fight smart. But if you're trying to fight for style points, you can definitely mix in like those no defense punches with those regular boxing punches and it looks real cool. You can press Alt in the middle of your punch and it's going to mess with the trajectory of it. And you can also grab before and after a punch. I would say grabbing before a punch is going to get you like more of a knockout punch, and grabbing after the punch is going to get you into the clinch and into like a dirty boxing situation. So yeah, play around with the boxing. It's a lot more than just swinging left to right. And you could even combo it into kicks. Speaking of kicks, let's get onto that. So this is where I think footwork is the most important. You obviously want to maintain your distance with kicks. You don't want to be in close boxing range with them. So if you're trying to kick, I would say get into a stance and use your left and right movement to stay in that stance. When you have your left leg back, it's going to be easier to go higher with the kick, and when you have your right leg back, it's going to be easier to go lower with the kick. And what kind of kick comes out is entirely dependent on the mouse movement, which is why you want to be holding shift, of course. If you do no mouse movement, it's just going to be like a regular front kick. And depending on where you're aiming at, it's going to hit the legs or the body, and then sometimes even the face if you're like looking up. But once you start moving the mouse with the kick is when you get to the crazy stuff. So on screen you can see what kind of mouse movements you're going to be looking for depending on which target. And you also want to shift your way into him with your footwork in order to get the most power off of it. So say the enemy's to my right, I want to press D on the keyboard and it's going to move me closer to him, and then I want to release the kick. Leg kicks and body kicks are going to be the most reliable. It's going to be a bit harder to land on their head. And overall kicks are going to be more risk but more reward in the fight. It's going to be way likelier to break bones with kicks than punches. You can mess up their legs, arms, and even the body. But kicks do take a little bit of practice to get used to. You gotta get used to the timing way more than with the punches, but it's definitely worth it. If you're an idiot like me and you always try to do no weapons versus weapons, then kicks are gonna even out the playing field. But it all starts with footwork, so make sure you get that down. Anyways, I think I've covered everything in this tutorial, and hopefully a grappling tutorial coming up next. Let me know if I missed anything on this one. See you guys in the next one.